This is a Saturday in your 40s. The alarm goes off at 4:02 as it has for years and reminds you of how hilarious Jerry Seinfeld was the night before. As an extreme creature of habit, the first thing is to go downstairs and fill yourself with 2 scoops of Minted Health pre-workout. At 46, coffee's been kicked, but caffeine is still needed in pretty strong volume. Even on the Saturday of a long weekend, work is still the first thing out of the gate. There's the day job to tend to and the weekly report that goes out every Saturday. A strange red light mask from the people at Therabody, given to you at an influencer event. You're trying it, not sure what it does, but you're willing to give it a shot. There's a green construction wall by your house that has forever been your mile zero place to pose. 10-second timer, 1 shot, whatever you get, you get. Sometimes on really fun mornings, the subway goes by at the same time. And then it's off to the races about 5 a.m. through the streets of Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn. Through Cobble Hill at a time where the bike lane is not being used by anybody but you, and then you're down into the Brooklyn Bridge Park piers. Through the streets of Dumbo that will be mobbed with tourists in just a few hours. Past the footing of the Manhattan Bridge where you and your wife used to walk your pigs. But for now, you'll just keep your eyes out for rats first thing in the morning before going past your old apartment, then back home so the wife can get out the door herself. So it's just you and your 11-year-old, and the plan is to fill out the yearly calendar. Through the glass hatch and into the basement to go grab the thing that's not the big-ass calendar, but something close. It's handed off to your daughter as the assignment of the day. Something that seems like an oddly smart fit between the world of arts and crafts and organization. She actually quite enjoys helping, so you head out back to see whether or not the feral cats use the new house. The answer is you're pretty sure, but not 100% sure because you didn't catch it on camera. You're also not 100% sure whether or not you should shoot things vertically or horizontally, because over the past several years you've made about 1,700 TikToks. But again, as a 46-year-old, your heart has always been in long form and 16:9. So for now, you just sit in a cold-ass tub and figure out what you'll do with this later. You've got the house to yourself this day, and before getting to writing your book, you want to address a comment that calls you cringe and that you're trying way too hard. Because the answer is no shit, you're making this all up as you go, you don't know what you're doing, you really should just be a corporate guy who keeps his mouth shut otherwise. If you love making content and you're stoked about the book that's going to be called How to Get Addicted to Appreciation, there's several hours of writing with a couple of breaks to look through your old hockey cards. You loved writing since you were a kid, but never in your wildest dreams did you think you'd actually get a book deal. You make the most of the time that you have while they're at the baby shower, and then you promise that things would be brought home from the grocery store before they get home. When you get back, there's a tiny pair of vans you've never seen before, and the glass trap door is closed, which can mean only one thing. There's a dinner guest. Your wife's business partner's son is coming over for some tacos. Your incredible wife, as always, is in the best of moods, somehow always bringing the high energy to the house. You're doing your goddamn best to try to quell your anxiety about the book deadline, but you may not be doing such a great job. But you try to lean in, help as much as you can with dinner, and then eventually do your best part, which is pour the shots. 1 ounce each, no more, no less. The taco night routine goes like this: pour the shot, have 1 sip as the toast, put the rest away for later. Ground chicken is the protein for the evening, and luckily your daughter is one of the greatest babysitters on the planet that's not even 12 years old yet. She just happens to get a kick out of politely giving instructions and making sure that rules are followed. Kelly looks over her shoulder to see if any feral cats have showed up for dinner. The answer is not yet, so let's take a selfie. The doomsday clock, as they call it, ticks in the background, and cleaning up once again feels like a timeless pastime to let time pass without feeling guilty about time passing. And then the third outfit change of the day into the snack time wear. And again, even on a Saturday, this dedicated time always feels like a gift. You print out what you've been working on to double check your work. A bit of an odd way to approach this phase of the book writing, but you wanted to ensure that every question that was asked by the editor got answered and it was clear and concise as to what you were doing. It's where the corporate side of your brain meets the mush part that has a little bit of creativity woven in, almost like an ice cream sandwich. You can tell by how long the rumble is that that's the G train that goes by the window in the moment. And then you get back to breathing through your mouth when you're super concentrated because you've never been good at breathing through your nose anyway. Now officially 1 day and 17 hours until that sucker is due, and you're feeling a lot better about it than you did this morning. At the end of snack hour is always a trip down to the basement for the final protein bar of the day. Past the kicks in the podcast studio that you'd like to use a hell of a lot more often. There's a second refrigerator so that you don't stock the upstairs with all the beer that you get from the brewery around the corner, which is the greatest brewery in the world. And you futz around with it like you always do, putting a few aside for reviews later on that you'll probably never actually film or talk about, even though you're incredibly passionate about the topic. Formal snack hour always includes multiple kinds of popcorn. Tonight's includes Good Health and Lesser Evil. The beer is from Other Half, and they're about to have their 10th anniversary, which is wild considering you've been going there since your daughter was born. Back on the banger for the final keystrokes of the night, and luckily you have the most supportive wife in the history of the world. And to make you feel like it's 2015 again, here comes Santino around the corner with a Mickey Mouse on the couch. And usually you have a few more clips from here, but not tonight. You're a bit too stressed and about to make yourself cringe, which is ironic considering what you were trying to explain earlier, but didn't do a great job of articulating. So instead you'll just say, good night. and thank you for spending this Saturday with me.